Check. Check, check. Oh no. Yo. Yo. What's good? All right. I still can't believe I made this beat like 8 years ago. Loud and clear. Love it. Thank you, bro. Whoa. What happened? Oh, I meant to turn the volume down, and I did the track time by accident. You ever had one of these? It's like crack. I've never had crack personally. There might be some crackheads out there. You can barely hear. Oh, okay. I think the music was just quiet. I think I have it turned down. Oh yeah, it was like turned halfway down. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna do one of these really quick. Boop. Nice. All right. Let's see what to start with today. I got several stories. I might skip some of them. We'll just start with the Zedd one. And let me know, is this format? So I've got this with the little border things going, right? And then I've got this as the whatchamacallit. Why did it move down? It shouldn't have done that. That's weird. Move that up so you can see my names. There. Okay. Let me know how you like this better. I personally am liking this a little bit better. It's kind of like very interactive feeling. All right. So it says here, San Francisco mayor issues official proclamation to name a day after Zedd. The Clarity producer is now cemented in civic history after reshaping San Francisco's nightlife. That's crazy. This is peak EDM. Zedd has been honored by the city and county of San Francisco with a day in his own name. October 12th, 2024 is now Zedd Day in the city by the bay. According to the superstar DJ who announced the official proclamation this week, issued by Mayor London Breed, it lauds Zedd as an integral part of San Francisco's performing arts community. Mayoral proclamations are typically issued for the purpose of public awareness, education, or civic duties. They are rare in the music industry, so Zedd celebrated by showing off during his set at San Francisco's famed Bill Graham Civic Auditorium. Imagine making a song so good and throwing parties so good that you have a day in the entire year named after you. There's only 365 of them, so to get one of them, that's pretty lit, right? What is this clip? Will it play or is it going to take... That's crazy. Zedd Day. Fresh off the release of Telos, his first album in nearly a decade, Zedd is riding a hot streak of 14 sold-out concerts at Bill Graham, where he performed for roughly 100,000 people over the course of 9 years, according to the venue. The proclamation also notes that Zedd was instrumental in the city's pandemic recovery efforts after headlining the first event at Bill Graham following a shutdown period of 18 months. The sold-out show took place in August of 2021. I still listen to that song regularly. Clarity, yeah. That's like one of the songs, like, so I got a kid on the way, right? And when I was talking to my wife the other day, and I was like, you know how when you were a kid and then, like, Duran Duran or, like the Beatles or I don't know, Billy Idol or something comes on and they're just like, oh, this is my jam back in the day. Ooh, when we were young, man, this was that's going to be clarity for us. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just thinking about all of the stuff that was like instrumental in my music experience in the last 15 years and how that's going to be vintage in a short time. So this is the proclamation Zedd Day in San Francisco. That's crazy. Never gonna give you up. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that song specifically transcended generations. Let's get real. That's crazy. Zedd Day. Well, I mean, honestly, he deserves it, man. Like he really he was one of the artists because he's very like classically trained and his music theory has always been very appropriate. Like for a music theory nerd, right? It's always felt like, man, he really knows what he's doing, So to see him get his own day, after all of the stuff he's done. I mean, I remember like Shave It Up and what was that one before? Oh my gosh, he has so many bangers. I can't even think of them. Zedd 2012 tracks. Let's look this up. Spectrum. That's the one I was thinking of. Spectrum. I'm not going to play it because I don't want to get copyright or whatever. But Spectrum, dude. Breathing you in when I want you. Banger. Banger. Remember when he was having that beef with Matthew Coma? Yes. Yeah. So I think like, I don't know the entire situation, but I remember coming out of that like Zedd did kind of screw him over a little bit. But it might not even be Zedd personally. I don't remember. I remember when that was going on and Matthew Coma was lighting him up on Twitter. Excuse me. But yeah, I don't remember the details. I'll say that. All right, on to the next one. I think this is a very important bass music topic here. So it says, that was hilarious. You can't play piano. Wait, is that what he said? Is that what Zedd said to him? That you can't play piano? It's pretty savage. That's nuts. All right, here we go. R.L. Grimes' upcoming 13th annual Halloween mix will be his last. The Sable Valley founder has released a mix inspired by the sounds of Halloween each year since 2012. And I'm going to go to the big camp for this because this is crazy. You could listen to all of the Halloween mixes and essentially just look at the direction that music has taken in the last 13 years, specifically like bass music. R.L. Grime has always been more trap centric, but man, there was a few songs in this mix that were like, that's not exactly trap. But he's like, it's a very niche kind of like sound that he puts in those mixes, but in reality, like you could, if you listen to like the very first or the second mix, it's like, man, bass music has come a long way. Man says, oh, you're talking about Matthew Coma. He's an expert drummer. And his parents are symphony performers in Europe. So that's pretty dope. Yeah. Oh, he can only play piano in C major. That's fair. That's fair. C major, A minor, all white keys. Yeah, so like back to the R.L. Grime thing, this you can really see the journey of bass music over the last 13 years by just listening to these mixes. The mix sounds on Earl Grimes' music are so much cleaner now too. Yeah, I mean, I think technology in general, like the ability to obtain a cleaner mix, it's a lot easier to do that. In 2012, that's when I started raving. That's like when I started going to shows and stuff. And it was a big deal then. It's been a big deal every year, but to know this is gonna be the last one, you know, it's bittersweet, man. It really is bittersweet. It says the wandering spirit Arl Grime will share Halloween's haunts one last time before vanishing into the horizon. The Sable Valley founders preparing to release the 13th installment, which he already did, came with the unfortunate news that this year's mix will be the last of the series, which began in 2012. The influential electronic music producer took to X to share a preview of the mix titled The End. In it, you can see numbers counting down each mix with eerie sounds layered beneath. The countdown reaches 13. The music is cut, and we're shown a gravestone that reads 2012 to 2024. Arl Grime hasn't released any further details on the mix, which the whole track list is out. Big old hair on my mic. And it released last weekend. And, you know, knowing that this is the last, 13 years of practice with the mix downs always helps too. Yeah, for sure. Knowing that this is the last one, like I said, it's bittersweet. But it makes me curious to like, what's he gonna do next, if anything? You know, I mean, the dude has been on top of the trap game for his entire career, essentially. I don't know about, you know, before he kind of blew up and got his buzz and stuff. Like, I don't really know his journey before then. But ever since I've been in the industry doing music, doing electronic music, he's been super, super influential, and just like a staple and putting on for other artists, all that stuff, right? So it's a little bittersweet, but at the same time, it gets me excited for what he's going to do next, right? It may not be like a Halloween themed thing. What if he does like Christmas for the next 20 years or something, you know? I mean, Halloween is a big deal, I guess, right? And it's easy to theme around. Same with like Christmas and all that. But could you imagine if he did like an April Fool's Day one where it was just like a bunch of drops with just like 3, 2, 1, go. It's like a fart. I would love that. I personally hope he does that. All right, on to the next one here. This I only read the titles in these, unless it's like a really thick subject. I typically will just read the headlines and just dive into it and just give some thoughts on it. So I don't know the depth of this article, so we're gonna see. The headline was interesting to me. 55% of music fans prioritize capturing video of the performance over being present at the moment. That's according to research from Heineken, who teamed up with Barry Can't Swim to curb excessive smartphone usage on the dance floor. Remember when dancing meant moving your feet instead of your thumbs? In today's war between FOMO and flow state, that's funny. Here's a good writers. Excessive smartphone usage is entrenched as one of the most contentious flashpoints of the global electronic dance music scene. As debates around digital intrusion on dance floors intensifies, Heineken has launched a new app, the Boring Mode, escalating the industry's broader push to balance technological integration with the preserved authenticity. According to research from Heineken, 60% of Gen Z and millennial smartphone users across the UK and the US and the Netherlands reported they believed they'd enjoy concerts more if they could disconnect from their devices. Well, then put them up. Just put them up. A more grim figure is that 55% of respondents who admitted they prioritize capturing footage of performance over being present in the moment, even though 13% said they rarely watch back the videos they record anyway. The Boring Mode aims to restore the authentic dance floor experience by temporarily disabling a phone's most distracting features, including apps, notifications, and camera functions. While some argue that the recording and sharing are now integral to modern music culture, Heineken's approach offers a middle ground, voluntary disconnection without completely banning devices. A proof of concept took place during last week's Amsterdam dance event, where the fans attempting to film Barry Can't Swim's DJ set were instead met with the message sent using infrared lighting, encouraging them to turn their smartphones boring. Interesting. The renowned Scottish DJ and producer, whose real name is Joshua Manny, has enthusiastically backed the tool. Now, as someone who I've played a ton of shows, and I have mixed feelings about this subject in particular, because, there's always a moment where it's like, take your phones out and, shine the flashlights, kind of like you're seeing in the picture here, which, like, when you're on stage and you see that, there's nothing like that feeling at all. At the same time, I have often struggled with really connecting with people at shows because they're just right here trying to capture something that, like this article said, most people aren't going to watch back on their phones anyway. It's just taking up space on their phone. So, like, I get it. People wanting not to... Now, if everybody watched these videos all the time, that'd be one thing. And think about all of the internet viral moments that might have been missed without people recording and capturing those moments. But I think with EDM specifically, it is dance music. The culture behind the music was made to, escape whatever's going on outside the club and outside the venue, which also is a double-edged sword. But I don't know if I have like a strong opinion on this either way. I do wish people would connect more with the show and get what they paid for rather than trying to like relive it through a tiny little screen and, only some of the time. So let's keep reading here. It's not too much longer. When I heard about the new anti-smartphone concept, it was something that struck a chord with me. With live music, of course, you're more present and immersed if you're giving your full attention rather than taking a video on your phone. And without phones, the energy is definitely different and people are more connected on the dance floor. And that's kind of what I was saying just a second ago, where it's like having that intimate connection with the crowd, just the general crowd. And like when I look up from my set and I see people like moving and dancing, like I wrote these songs for people to dance to. And it's nice to like look up and like to see that people want to capture that moment, but also at the same time, it's like, it's a little not discouraging, but it's kind of like, man, just come on and dance, Barry Can't Swim joins a slew of prominent producers, electronic music artists, and oh my gosh, my dogs are going crazy. Ace, stop. Y'all hear that? It's like really loud in my ears. Y'all. I really wish it would stop. Main artists and venues, and the crusades against smartphone usage in the nightlife. Medusa and James Hype launched a campaign to preserve the authenticity of club culture by denouncing excessive recording, and Wave Dash from Austin, shout out, discouraged smartphone use by asking friends to cover their cameras with stickers, blazoning the phrase "social media, no thanks." That's cool. I didn't know they did that. Renowned, and that's the thing. It's like I have mixed feelings about it because like I want that content to post, but also at the same time, like I want people to genuinely enjoy the experience that I've worked really hard to put together. So I think if I was playing thousands of shows and like all these gigantic venues and all that stuff, and this was like, a bigger problem for me, I'm happy to just get a show. Like you want to pull your phone out and film, like that's fine, but I can see like why people who play a high frequency of shows can let's see I can see why people who play a lot of shows would want that. Renowned DJ, festival organizer Damian Lazarus instated a groundbreaking no-phone policy for his summer residency at the famed High Ibiza venue, establishing a new precedent on the fabled Spanish party island. Ibiza legend Bob Sinclair also recently lamented the scourge of content culture and nightclubs after a show he called the worst gig of his entire career. Very interesting. And the fact that you're getting this like commercial support on this idea, I mean, it's clearly like affecting, club culture. It's affecting people's experience at shows. I definitely think it's more important to get what you paid for when you're buying tickets to a show versus trying to just relive, that moment through a tiny screen. Okay, let me X out of that there. All right, this one just, again, title was funny to me. Oh, wait, can I zoom in? Okay. Yeah, the title just got me here. Burning Man CEO asked for donations to fund future festival editions. Marian Goodall, CEO of Burning Man Festival, recently turned to socials to ask for donations to help fund future editions of the gathering. This, after years' results which hold the brand at a critical inflection point. I think with the demographic of people that go to Burning Man, you're not going to have any problem raising funds. Goodall shared in a recent blog post, "We are at an inflection point as a nonprofit. On one hand, global interest is at an all-time high, and the world needs Burning Man more than ever." Debatable. On the other hand, we are well past the point where ticket revenues from Black Rock City are able to support our year-round cultural work. A large part of the crisis has its roots in higher-priced tickets for this year's Burning Man not selling the numbers they expected. This $5.7 million shortfall, combined with a $3 million dip in receipts from the main sale tickets and vehicle passes, means that our year and charitable donation target has essentially doubled to nearly $20 million. This needs to happen before 2025 ticket sales and our annual revenue cycle begins in January. Feels like my own personal viewing of WHOiSEE reading to me. Yeah, it is. It's exactly that. Optic Sky says, well. What's good, bro? Finally, Goodall asks for a monthly $20 donation from those who are willing to keep the festival afloat by saying the world needs what we offer now more than ever for us to continue to be this force of good, convening people in person, inspiring creativity and innovation, and storytelling in ways that spark change. We need your help to raise the funds needed to preserve Black Rock City as the vibrant heart of Burning Man and to protect the culture, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so, yeah, I just, like, I don't know. Burning Man has had this, like, weird kind of just, like, taste to it for me, like, always. I understand, like, oi, we out here. What's good, Trips? Oi. How you doing, dog? So, yeah, I think my main comment from the Burning Man CEO asking for donations, it's like the kind of people that go to Burning Man and are able to afford to go to Burning Man, I don't think you're going to have any trouble raising money. Personally, I could be wrong, but if you don't reach your goal and you don't do it next year, are you going to, I guess that's a donation, so you can't like return it, right? But interesting. The economy of Burning Man is at an inflection point. I don't, again, I've never been to Burning Man. I don't think even if I did go, it would like change my life. It just seems like a lot of work. I don't need to escape that bad personally. But I genuinely don't think they're going to have any problem raising money at all. So this next one here, Instagram now lets you add music to your Spotify library. This is huge. This is massive. With the way songs go viral nowadays, that extra step of having to like remember a song name and an artist that you may never have heard of before, right? And then going to type that in, find it, save it, maybe add it to a playlist. And now it's like it's all on digital and stuff. It's like we're so spoiled, right? But the fact that you can just go boop, add to your Spotify library, massive, massive. I am very, very excited for this. Let me zoom in here. Whoa, there we go. Scroll, zoom out. I'm still getting used to this new little format here. Okay, there we go. Instagram and Spotify have recently rolled out a new feature. They've joined forces to let you add music to your Spotify library direct from Instagram. This new feature allows users to easily discover and add songs to their Spotify playlist with just a few taps, as opposed to 50 taps or whatever before. And we're talking about taps on an iPhone here, right? Let's keep our perspective. This is how it works. When watching a video on Instagram Reels, users can now tap on the song to get more info to add it to their Spotify library. The feature is available for both iOS and Android as long as they have both apps up to date. To use the feature, you got to link your Spotify to your Instagram, and I guess there's a prompt to just add it to your library. This makes me really excited. Honestly, it's like the desire to have a song pop off on a video or some content creator use your song in something. For someone to just go, dude, what is that song? Boop, 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 in their library, streams up, monthly listeners up. Like, as an artist, this is really exciting for me. The integration mirrors similar features on TikTok, which allow users to add song to various streaming platforms. While Spotify has launched this feature initially, it's possible they may expand it to other digital service providers in the future. Yeah, and I have people who Trips Ahoy, I think he uses Apple Music, and he'll always send me links to songs to Apple Music, and I'm like, guy, who uses Apple Music, right? But some people do. Let's see, Bindlebum, he says, gotta go, acquired some DDJ 1000s, gotta scoop them. Nice, bro. Go get that gear. Dude, the DDJ 1000 is badass. I love that thing. It's like the next best controller besides the XZ, which is overpriced, but it's still really good. But yeah, so let's see what they say here. Spotify expressed excitement about this new partnership, stating that it claims to strengthen the connection between artists and fans. At Spotify, we're always looking for new ways to create a deeper connection between artists and fans. And with this Instagram integration, we're introducing new ways for users to discover more, blah, blah, blah. I think this is more sexy for smaller artists. Yeah, Austin Trips Away says people who enjoy the finer things. Yeah. And then right below that he says Apple Music blows. War. Sorry if I got a little loud on the mic there, but that was funny. Spotify, and it's on 2 different platforms. I gotta have the chat rolling in here. I think what I'll do is I'll move the camera up like that, and then I'll have the chat in this bottom left corner. Oh, you can't see my mouse, right? But I think I'm gonna do that because I have people from Twitch and YouTube in here. I don't see Spotify with the DJ mixes. Apple Music does. Very true. You have a point there. Spotify does not have that. I don't listen to DJ mixes that much, so it doesn't really apply to me. But for people who do, or one per person, no, I like artists who do their BBC One mixes, and I know a lot of producers who will do a monthly mix and things like that. Yes, there are benefits, and I will say, as an audiophile, as an audio nerd, right? Apple Music sounds better. It's a little bit less compressed, a little bit less squished. He says, yo, if there's another person in the chat YouTube chat with the name Nonchalant. Fuck that guy. It's him talking to himself, guys. Spoiler alert. Okay, this next. Oh, yo, one sec. Computer is about to die, so I gotta get my charger. But first, I gotta freeze the camera, so you don't see this stuff laying around because I just move it out of the way of the background. Okay, one sec. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We out here. All right, we're back. Whoa. We're back. We're back. We're back. Okay. All right. We're back. So next thing here, it says UK nightlife in peril as 10 clubs close down each month. This is something I've been hearing for a while about the UK nightlife stuff. When I signed my first record to Circus last year, I asked them, I'm like, so what's, what does it look like? How, the chances of getting shows out there, essentially. And they're like, dude, dubstep is dead in London. And I'm like, what? That's where it started. How is it dead? And I don't know like the economics or the mechanics behind it or anything like that, but that was mid 2023, over a year ago that somebody was telling me that. So let's investigate. Okay. UK nightlife in peril as 10 clubs close each month. Each month? That's crazy. The UK nightlife scene is in trouble. A staggering 37% of clubs have closed over the past 4 years, translating to roughly 10 closures per month. Dude, COVID hit them hard, I guess. This decline is driven by a combination of factors, including rising operational costs, economic pressure, and changing consumer habits. The industry experts warn that without immediate government intervention, the UK could witness the end of an era that has defined generations of music lovers. Michael Kill, CEO of the Nighttime Industries Association. They have a nighttime association, or a nightlife association. That's how big it is there. Has urged the government to provide support to safeguard this part of UK's cultural fabric, one of which has also left a mark on the rest of the world in history. The NTIA's research highlights the impact of rising costs to the industry. Many clubs are struggling to break even, let alone turn a profit. I wonder if this is why Printworks closed. Additionally, changing consumer preferences and the increasing popularity of streaming services has further impacted the revenue streams of nightclubs. The concern is that we move towards the budget. As we move towards the budget, the narrative that's coming out is quite dour. Vocab word of the day. Looking at alcohol duty and potentially things like the ban on smoking, all these things are quite onerous and cost heavy. Dude, they're just pulling out SAT words for this magazine quote. To adapt to these challenges, some venues are exploring innovative approaches, for instance, by introducing daytime clubbing. However, these creative solutions can only go so far. Either direct monetary intervention or a sort of ease on restrictions seems to be the route to preserve the beloved scene in the country, which is in many ways a pioneer of dance. This is like, I hope this isn't like a canary in the coal mine, kind of like a foreshadowing for what's to come in the States or the rest of the dance music industry. But this sucks to see. It sucks to read this. The picture here is of Printworks, I believe, with that one screen that goes like really, really high. That was like an iconic music venue. I mean, you can look up streams, not streams, but like full sets. Like you, just like people post their Boiler Room sets, they post their Printworks sets. It was like a big thing. So seeing all these like staple venues starting to close down, that's rough. But the fact that you get the option of government intervention in your nightlife, I think is very interesting. Let's see here. Okay, next one. Boop. Zoom in a bit. Shoop. Oh gosh. Just want to get the ads out of the way. Oh. Whoa. Noise. Got it. Okay. Tool, not tools. Tool apostrophe S. Maynard James Keenan feels they made a big mistake by not being on streaming platforms sooner. That's the gateway into vinyls and CDs. Keenan believes that the choice to stay off streaming sites meant younger fans were left out of the loop and did not discover their music. Yes. Duh. This is old head syndrome right here. Tool's vocalist Maynard James Keenan feels the band made a mistake by not putting their music on streaming platforms sooner. The LA rock band, popularly known for their albums 10,000 Days and more recently Fear in Calculum, didn't have their discography on streaming platforms until 2019. At that time, their third album immediately topped the album charts on Apple Music's iTunes, even fending off competition from Billie Eilish. That's crazy. I didn't know they waited that long to be off of streaming services. That's nuts. During his recent appearance on Alison Hagendorf's show, Keenan reveals that by avoiding streaming sites, he feels the band actually missed out on a new generation of fans. I feel like we missed the boat. Like it started with downloads 24 years ago. Then by the time we actually came out, downloads were done. We missed 20 years of reaching two generations of people to understand what it is that we do. And they're still like legends in the game. Like think about if they had just like leaned into every technological like innovation to consume music. Like these dudes would be, I mean, they're still on Metallica level, right? Like they're one of the most legendary bands of all time. We had in high school, there was a drumline cadence that they would do that was just a Tool song. And we would march to it and stuff. It's crazy. Let's see. I don't like listening to the MP3 version. I listen to CDs and vinyl, but that's the gateway to get them into the vinyl and CDs. I feel like we made a mistake by not being on those mediums for 20 years. Me every year saying we should do this, he explains. Of their chart-topping success at the time, Keenan says it came as a complete surprise. People didn't know who we were because we weren't around. My son just finished law school and his peers have no idea who we are. They need to not be his peers anymore. They weren't exposed to it. It's not on your phone. Yeah, I mean that's unfortunate. You gotta be as present and as accessible as possible. Even if you're, legendary status, like you're not having your music catalog in a really accessible fashion, it's damaging. You gotta be everywhere. Streaming services have been subject to much debate for years, with artists such as Avenged Sevenfold, James Blake, and St. Vincent having criticized the model for low royalty payouts and the way it's incentivized songs to become consumable over and over again, meaning songs which are more complex and less likely to be replayed miss out. They're very right. Tapping into a formula that just like gets music stuck in people's head. That's a lot of the streamability of a song. Most artists recognize that streaming is ideal if you're a huge pop star, but for others, the market can feel unfair. Avenged Sevenfold have started to turn their own fan club, have in turn started their own fan club to better reach fans, as Blake has even created his own streaming model called Vault. Spotify CEO Daniel Ek has previously compared the streaming market to professional sport. Football is played by millions of people, but there's a very small number that can live off playing it full time. That's a good analogy. Despite the resurgence of physical formats, I'm not going to go in on that. Streaming still remains the most popular way to consume music, just as Keenan acknowledges. It often, in fact, is a gateway to discover younger listeners. Spotify got a lot of listeners last month. Is what I'll say. If you and he's very right. Like if you go and you love an artist so much, right, and you listen to their entire everything they've ever released, their entire discography on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever it is, you're following them on Instagram from discovering them on the streaming platforms, and then they're putting out a limited edition vinyl set. Like the chances of you buying that are so much higher because you've consumed everything they've already done, right? Whereas like it's not like, is anybody in the chat old enough to remember CD Exchange? That was, that was like, you could go there and discover new music and they, people would be like by the checkout line. They had everything in ABC order and you could just like scroll through these CDs and you're like, who is this? Go check it out, listen to a couple tracks. And if you like it, you could buy it. But if you're like big brain, you just listen to the whole thing while you're there, right? But yeah, I mean, obviously that format is way, way in the past now. But really what I'm getting at here is that like, if you're not staying with the times and you're not like embracing the way that people consume music, you are missing out on a huge opportunity to discover fans that you would have never had beforehand, So, all right, I got like one or two more. Let's see. This one is, I'm not going to get into that one. Okay, here we go. Last one. Jacob Collier partners with, oh wait, let me zoom in here. Still getting used to that. Whoop. Come on now. Yeah, there we go. Jacob Collier partners with Google on new AI tool, Music Effects DJ. Collier's new AI tool allows users to create exciting new tracks and access non-linear, weird, continuing, evolving tapestry. I would expect nothing less from Jacob Collier. Jacob Collier has partnered with Google on a fresh new AI music production tool, Music Effects DJ. Music Effects DJ claims to revolutionize music creation, allowing users to create entire tracks from simple prompts. I don't like that. Available on AI Test Kitchen with Google.com. The tool allows users to explore instruments and other sonic palettes. Sharing the news via Instagram, Collier calls the tool a master amalgamator of sonic elements. He says that Music Effects DJ has the potential to create nonlinear, weird, continuously evolving tapestry. He's even donned his brightest outfit to reflect the Technicolor of tapestry. Technicolor tapestry of sound the tool can experiment with. And that is just a pattern, my guy. Somebody who has long been obsessed by never before heard sounds, this process has fully delighted me. Continuous evolving nature makes it feel orchestrating or arranging, a marvelous sort of sonic soup that can be steered in a meaningful and uncharted directions. I really want to see, let's look at this video here.
I do think that a big part of teaching music is giving people a chance to play music and play with music. However, people don't have access to the whole of music from day one. What I think this offers an interesting perspective into is the whole of music. Mathematics, physics, history, geography, the human body, language, spelling,
This is a
syntax.
really, really good ad.
One thing I've come to realize is that a lot of the same forces that make music work are the forces that make life work. By the time I was about 7 years old, I was recording music with software from home. Technology was already at a pace that was a little dizzying in a positive sense for ideas. Oh, there appears to be this tool. Oh, I'll use it then. I kind of embraced all of them as a child. I think the parts that were most interesting to me were the parts that reminded me of my own awakeness as a person. I've spent the last, almost 30 years finding improbable sonic collisions. There were some fairly brilliant Google engineers who were designing and building a bunch of interesting music AI. The one I was most interested in immediately was this idea of Music FX DJ. You kind of like craft this real-time sonic putty that's endlessly kind of surprising.
That's good.
And essentially seeks to sort of alchemize or forge connections between things that would otherwise be unlikely.
You can input text, some description of music, and you're getting back a musical experience in real time.
Whoa.
It gives you this ability to mix different descriptions of what you want, whether it's like a genre or like a vibe or a sound.
Can you put a banjo in a dubstep drop?
This isn't a replacement for traditional musical instruments. It's more a new type of musical instrument.
I'm being invited to contribute something, which is always a welcome scenario as a creative person.
It makes you feel like you're part of the music making process.
The system itself is trained to play music and then respond to your conduction, but also respond to the music that it itself has output. You get to say, no, go more in this direction, add in these types of instruments, change this genre, be much more loud and intense, or actually play very long, soft notes. So there's this ever-evolving improvisation.
Originally gave you the model, you'd put in these things and it would just play like a weird song or something, which is cool too.
Really
but now it's actually understanding.
Be less cowbell, more cowbell. So if I start improvising and throw in something new, right? The joy of improvisation is I'm also in the audience. I'm also watching what's coming out. I'm not trying to control it too much, and I can make choices based on what happens and what comes out, what's inspiring me at any given time. It's trusting the first thought that comes into your mind. Oh, I'll go here. Yeah, I'll go here. I'll go here.
How long is this video?
It's a similar process when I'm prompting something into existence, It's a continuous form that's consistently creating things you've never experienced before. I mean, it's an amazing premise. How to begin the process of imagining the world your idea is in, with this exact technology. What am I dreaming up today? And that's always a good first question with anything you make. You answering that question, it gives you access to a kind of flow. And once you're in the flow, then you're off, you're going.
Jacob brought a desire to be surprised by different sounds.
He really helped us to realize and appreciate
this kind of looks
deeply
dope.
Musical you can treat environmental sounds.
Sometimes if you ask a sound database to give you an exact sound, it's too familiar to inspire you to stay on the edge of yourself. The ultimate space to me is the space between what you know and what you don't know, and this just straddles that. You can stumble across something that's just bizarre and strange and is brand new.
I think there's a real intentionality to bring people into a musical space and for everyone to have like a collaborative music experience. Jacob's been doing that with his tour where he's like having the audience sing.
I deeply believe that everybody can contribute something.
The goal here is really to make the experience of live music more accessible to more people. And hopefully it just starts you on a musical journey. Jacob really wants to push the boundaries of music and technology, not just for himself, but for humanity.
I'm excited at something that could, I think in time, lend itself to a really rich co-creation ground. Most of what stops people creating is not actually a lack of skill or knowledge. I would say the first thing that is, you could say, lacking is permission to give something a try. Go is the word. Just go.
We might have to try that. We might have to try that tomorrow. That looks it. I'm not gonna lie. When I hear Google AI, music effects, DJ, like those are all terms that personally turn me off. You know what I mean? But after watching that video, I might have to test that out. It looks kind of fun. Especially like having like music production knowledge and using something like that. I feel like you could really shred. you know. Maybe that's what I'll do for the stream tomorrow. Is I'll play play around with that thing. That looks a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. We shall see how it goes. But that is pretty much going to do it for the stream today. Appreciate everyone chatting, tuning in. We're streaming tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. Every Tuesday night, we're streaming in the studio, messing around with stuff. So I appreciate everyone tuning in. And if you're just hopping in, rewind, watch the VOD on YouTube, and we will catch y'all next time. Peace.